In this instructional video, we're going to go over how to get started as a student in Otus. We're going to look at logging into Clever in Otus, audio and video settings in Zoom, the different types of views, renaming in the participant screen, and how to rejoin a meeting. So this video is to go through how to get started in Otus and then get onto a Zoom with the teacher. When the student logs into the Chromebook using their rcsdkids.us account, it'll take them to this screen. Now you can log in using their student ID or their Clever badge, but it is bookmarked to this screen. You can see at the upper left here, there's an rcsdkids.us bookmarks. If you click on that, it will take you to the Clever login. Some devices automatically go to this page. Then all your student has to do is click the log into Clever with Google and pick the student's account. For most students, it will be the only account on the device and it will automatically log in. So this is the student's Clever page and they want to navigate to Otus. If you put a heart on Otus, it's automatically going to put it up at your favorite resources. I highly recommend doing that. So we're going to go ahead and click on Otus. It may take a minute or so for Otus to log in. We're now logged into Otus, and for this video, the purpose is really to show you how to get on to a Zoom call for your students. Some teachers may post in Bookshelf, some teachers may post in class boards, but we're going to go ahead and go into Bookshelf. And right here you see Mrs. Blom's Zoom link. We're going to click on that link and it's going to launch Zoom for us. And I'm going to go ahead and put my name as student 1. I can tell it not to connect my audio or to turn off my video as I join. You can change both those settings later. So as you can see, this is the video preview. You can choose to join the meeting with or without video. Once again, both those settings can be adjusted as you are in the meeting. If you want to make the Zoom meeting full screen, you click the full screen box right there. And as soon as the teacher starts the meeting, we will be in the room. Unmute yourself, you'll pull down towards the bottom of the screen. On the far left corner, there's a microphone and you can click unmute. If your microphone's not working, you hit the up arrow and it will give you some settings to choose which microphone you're using. So when the teacher asks for the student to unmute, they can just click the unmute button. So I'm going to go ahead and start my video. A couple things I want to show you on this end is one, a best practice is to have the student sit in front of a blank wall. That way no one can walk behind them and people or little siblings that we don't want on our screens are on our screens. As always, if a student doesn't feel comfortable, they can turn off their camera. You can move your preview screen around if you don't want it right there. And you can also go to gallery view. If there's multiple students on a screen, gallery view is a good setting because they can see all their classmates. If the teacher's presenting, the present mode will come up, but you can always hit speaker view and you can pin any video. So if you're in gallery view, you can see in the upper left corner, you can pin that to make that a large video. So those are some of the settings for on the student side of it. And once again, the teacher has control to mute and unmute and turn video on and off when they choose to. Let me check. So down along the bottom, I showed you the microphone settings. The camera settings are the same. If you click on the camera, it turns my camera off and it just gives me my name. And right now I'm named student 1. I can turn my camera back on and there are settings. If cameras aren't working, you can look at those. If I click on the participant list, it is going to show who is in the meeting. If you're not in full screen, and you click on participants, it automatically docks to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. And right now I'm student 1, and you can see that one of the options the teacher has allowed in this case is I can rename myself. if I wanted to be student 2, I could go ahead and do that. Now, the teacher can disable that function and enable it when they feel it's appropriate. So if this happens, it means that the teacher removed that student. There may be a lot of reasons that this happens. It might be time for small group and that student's not in that small group. In the off chance that there is a behavior issue, a student can be removed for that as well. But we find that that's going to be very uncommon. Usually it means that the teacher is hosting a small group and your student isn't in that particular small group. But you can join back into that meeting. And honestly, the easiest way to do that is close Zoom out. Back in Otus, remember we're in the bookshelf, just click on the Zoom link again, and it's going to auto pop up and try to sign back into that meeting. Usually we'll be put back in the waiting room, and then the teacher will readmit us into that group. And so the teacher asked me to come back into the meeting, and it's defaulted that when I come into the meeting, I'm muted, and they asked me to unmute, so I did. So now you see that the teacher has ended the meeting. I'm going to go ahead and OK and close Otus, or close Zoom, and then I'm back in Otus. And remember, you can find the live meeting links depending on your teacher in the bookshelf on your Zoom link. They're also creating Zoom calendars where you can see when they're going to have live instruction as well. And you can see those. The week view is much easier to view. So if we click on the week view, you can see that here's the different groups that this teacher is going to have. So that is how to get started with Zoom and Otus.